thank you for joining. We're going to call the meeting to order. Can we do a roll call?
Berlin.
Present.
Buckles. Chaplin.
Here.
Grogan.
Here.
Hart.
Here.
Healy. Henry. Here. Kitcherubis. Mendrick.
Mark, you're on mute.
Mendrick.
Here.
Ozog.
Here.
Rutledge.
Here.
Selman.
Here.
Great, thank you. We do have a quorum. Briefly under chairman's remarks, so at the next meeting of the technology committee, we are going to be going through the strategic plan updates as well as the technology department's plan for a 5% budget reduction. I know, Don, that's something your team has been working on in both cases, and I think we should have all that information ready to share with the group by the meeting on the 25th, I believe. Anything else you want to add?
Nope,
Okay.
nothing at this time.
Okay, great. And of course, once we go through those presentations, either before or after or during, questions are always welcome. Is there any public comment? No public comment. I'll entertain, do we have any minutes to approve? I don't see anything listed down there.
I don't either. I unfortunately am sorry.
Why don't we just, we'll go ahead and if we have anything from the last time,
Previous meeting,
from
yeah.
previous meeting, we can go ahead and write counter and do them at that time.
If you don't have minutes prepared or for any reason, I should know we have a substitute secretary for the committee today.
Yes.
So if there's any meeting minutes, we'll hold off until they're completed and we can approve them at the next meeting.
Okay, great. So we'll pass over that item. One other thing I failed to mention in chairman's remarks, I know Chris Katcherubis is currently without power and internet service, so he was planning to join the committee. I don't believe he's on the phone line, but understandable that some folks have had weather-related issues today. Moving on to procurement requisitions, I'll entertain a motion to approve TEP 214-20, ratification of an emergency procurement with Sound Inc. for the purchase of wireless microphones and related equipment to add to the existing AV equipment in the county boardroom.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Just as a reminder, since we're meeting with electronic quorum, everything needs to be a full roll call.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion on this item?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Member Ozog.
Which room are these planned to be used in? And is there other utility for them after we may no longer need to worry about attendance or social distancing? I'm thinking 2 to 3 years down the road. Is there can we use them? We are purchasing these, not leasing them, correct?
Correct. They're for the county board meeting room generally.
Okay.
And that allows us to social distance. That allows board members to social distance during the meeting. So we can have people around, positioned around the outer edge of the.
But these could be used elsewhere. I'm thinking about my previous board. We used to go to different locations. So they were the microphones were portable. We could set up in different areas. Would these be used? Could they be used for that kind of purpose? Say they wanted to do
Yes, they could.
an off-site meeting and these could be packed up and taken along, right?
Yes, they can. That's correct.
So there is further utility.
Correct.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions? Hearing none, let's proceed to a roll call.
Rutledge.
Aye.
Selman.
Aye.
Berlin.
Aye.
Chaplin.
Aye.
Grogan.
Here. Aye.
Hart.
Aye.
Henry.
Aye.
Mendrick.
Aye.
Ozog.
Aye.
Thank you. The item is approved. Moving on, I'll entertain a motion on TEP 159A-19, amendment to the resolution TEP 159-19 issued to Cherry Road Technologies for professional services to upgrade and mitigate thin for loss and ERP application.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions?
Yeah.
Member Chaplin.
Thank you. So in reading the decision memo, it says that Cherry Road was to form an upgrade of the ERP system, including the login security. Due to COVID, we delayed the implementation. We're now moving forward with the implementation. To ensure that there are no problems when going live, we are requesting additional help to test payroll processing on the new servers. So I guess my question is, since there was a delay and we couldn't do this, Cherrywood Cherry Road really didn't do anything. So I'm not sure why we're giving them additional pay when we delayed the implementation and they didn't do anything for 3 months. And now we're paying them for an additional 3 months. I think, you know, that maybe during COVID, they would extend the contract without the increase because according to this, there was a delay of implementation. So that's.
Allow me to explain. So this is actually additional work. This is something that was not in the scope of the contract when we approved it. What we determined was we wanted payroll to be tested more thoroughly than the original plan. So we are engaging them to do additional testing. Obviously, with payroll, we cannot have a new server, new upgrade, and have a glitch where we're unable to get payroll out or where we have incorrect payroll records. So this is to ensure that we get a solid implementation of the new system with the new software.
Okay, well, it says that because of the delay of the implementation, it doesn't say that this is additional work, and that I didn't see anything that it said that this was not in the contract. So I guess our explanation should match what we're doing.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We'll make sure that it's clearer next time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Liz. Any other questions on this item? Hearing none, let's proceed to a roll call.
Rutledge,
Aye.
Selman,
Aye.
Berlin,
Aye.
Chaplin,
Aye.
Rogan,
Aye.
Hart,
Aye.
Henry, Mendrick,
Aye.
Ozog.
Aye.
Thank you. The item passes. Moving on to item C, I'll entertain a motion on TEP 213-20, recommendation for the approval of a contract to SHI International Corp for the procurement of 31 laptops and 243 docking stations for remote users during the COVID-19 pandemic.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions? Member Rutledge.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. Don, where are we at? I know we have passed other items for laptop, and are we getting close to getting everybody out there set up, or?
Yeah, we believe we think this will finish off what we know about in terms of remote work. There may be a few additional here and there, but for the most part, I think we're in good shape.
Okay, this is not listed as a COVID item.
It is a COVID item. It should be listed.
It should have that, yeah, parentheses.
Yeah, it should have been.
Just checking.
The one other thing I add is that obviously there's laptops that are part of this, but I believe the biggest part of the order is evidence by is the docking station.
Yeah, we're catching up on the docking station, so correct.
Okay. Any other, oh, go ahead. Member Rutledge, anything else?
No, thank you.
Any other questions? Member Ozog?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Two things. First of all, I'd like to make sure that this is indicated as COVID for the full board meeting. And the other thing I wanted to ask, is there any discussion or where are we at in terms of a policy for people working off site? Do we have any kind of guideline at this point? Any idea what percentage of at least 421 is working remotely? Where are we at on this? Because I think that it would be good to know in terms of this extra equipment that we're purchasing. Any idea? I'm directing this to Don and or Greg. What's going on?
Yeah, I'll let Don answer because I know there have been discussions with HR.
Where we're at.
Driving it, so Don. go
So
ahead.
we have a draft policy that HR gave to us a week ago, and we have a small working group that consists of myself, Sarah Hahn, Chris Snyder, and Mary Keating, with Wendy and Joe helping out on the tech side to refine the policy. The policy is a packet with a number of different materials in it, including a home office checklist, a telecommuting agreement, which is a legal agreement that we're giving to we need to give to the state's attorney to look at, and then the policy, and then we need to update an acceptable use policy that we have. So we think within the next 30 days, I'm just kind of going out on a limb and, with Nick and all of us talking, that we think we'll have something to look at. Where are we with numbers? I don't know. That's something I don't track. I don't track who's out. I can tell you how many VPN connections are coming in daily, which is 400 or 500 generally.
So a substantial, 400 or 500 would be a substantial amount of the bill or proportion of the
Yes,
bill.
correct. And there could also be people doing things that are non-VPN related. There could also be people that are coming into Office 365 or not, Office 365 without going through the VPN. So, you know, there could be 600-700 somewhere in there.
Okay, so can the board expect to see a full-blown policy in September about where we're at in terms of remote working?
That's kind of where
I'm sorry?
That's kind of what I'm thinking, being on that small group, but I'll check with Nick to see if he's got anything else that he's thinking of there, but I think within the next 30 days, having it fixed, our end of it is done this week. Connor will need to look at it, but I think September sounds reasonable.
Okay, all right, thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you, Member Ozak. Any other questions on this item? Someone sees. Yeah, okay. Hearing none, let's go to a roll call.
Rutledge,
Aye.
Selman,
Aye.
Berlin, Chaplin,
Aye.
Rogan,
Aye.
Hart,
Aye.
Henry,
Aye.
Mendrick,
Aye.
Ozak.
Aye.
Thank you. The item passes. Moving on to item D, I'll entertain a motion on TEP 215-20, recommendation for the approval of contractor Roscusa & Sons doing business as Wally's Printing to furnish and deliver printed business envelopes for DuPage County departments.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call. Sorry.
Rutledge,
Aye.
Selman,
Aye.
Berlin,
Aye.
Chaplin,
Aye.
Rogan,
Aye.
Hart,
Aye.
Henry,
Aye.
Mendrick,
Aye.
Ozak.
Aye.
Thank you. The item passes. Moving on to item E, I'll entertain a motion on 2020-217, recommendation for the approval of a contract purchase order to CDW Inc. for the procurement of laptops for GIS staff.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Rutledge,
Aye.
Selman,
Aye.
Berlin,
Aye.
Chaplin,
No.
Rogan.
Aye.
Excuse me,
Aye.
Henry,
Aye.
Mendrick,
Aye.
Ozak.
No.
6 ayes, 2 nays.
Thank you. The item passes. Moving on to informational items, I'll entertain a motion to combine and approve and place on file items A and B under informational.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion or questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Rutledge,
Aye.
Selman,
Aye.
Berlin,
Aye.
Chaplin,
Aye.
Rogan,
Aye.
Aye.
Henry,
Aye.
Mendrick,
Aye.
Ozak.
Aye.
Thank you. Is there any old business?
Oh, yeah, I just have a question. Oh, go ahead, Gwen.
No, I was just gonna ask for an update on a couple items. Go ahead.
Maybe we're asking on the same item.
Could be.
I was wondering about the tax system, because I heard that that's not been implemented yet, and if there was a delay or what was going on with that. I don't know if that was one of your questions, Gwen, or not.
No, I know the answer to that one. I don't have to answer
She knows full well what's going on with that.
No, had not been willing to come up and begin it right away, but they're supposed to in the fourth quarter. So we'll begin the implementation.
Oh, gosh. Were you hoping to have it for this?
I was just hoping to have it for 2022.
Okay.
It's a 24-month implementation.
Actually, 26.
26-month implementation.
And I believe that it also includes Tyler folks coming on site, if I'm not
Right.
mistaken. So there's some concerns about that. taking place.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Is that all, Member Chaplin?
Thank you.
Yes, Treasurer Henry.
Being in the basement yesterday and having no cell service, I just wondered how the AT&T project is coming. I was not the only one without cell service in the basement yesterday. So how is that progressing?
When do you want to give an update, please?
Sure. So we have metro cells, which are basically extenders for the cellular service we've had that are going to be installed in the basement. we've had a couple meetings with AT&T about that, and they're deciding where to place them. So those should be in the building in the next 15 to 30 days. So that'll enhance the cell signal in 421. As far as moving to AT&T, that's going to take a little longer because that only covers the 421 basement. We also have to put them in 501. And then the long-term solution will be to put a permanent distributed antenna system in 421 and 501 and move the metro cells to 503 and 505, and then we still have to cover the care center. So it's going to take a little while, but your signal, excuse me, should be enhanced in the next 15.
It isn't just the basement. We have a hard time getting it on the.
I know.
You go out and stand by the window sometimes.
Well, remember, we're a Verizon, we're Verizon contracted. We're not AT&T contracted and won't have that in yet.
Okay, but I know that's been signed.
Correct.
Yes.
And the other one has to do with the phones. What's the date for the phones to be finished?
We're hoping it probably won't make September 1st, so it's going to have to be right after that. That's probably, we had a couple of issues. One, we couldn't get into the mail room for a while to get the phones that are stored in there because we had an employee test positive in there. And TIG, which is our implementer, sent their employees home. They didn't want them to go in there and risk getting COVID. So we had a delay of about 2 weeks with that. And we're not able to get into the care center, into some of the isolation wards to place the phones. But every testing is going well. I have one of the new phones on my desk that I can test. We've tested the circuits coming in. Those are all well, so it's just a matter of placing the phones. So there's been some.
You can tell we've had some logistical issues with COVID.
Being a good phone user, I'm just curious.
Absolutely.
Just some
Absolutely fine.
information shows, and we do use the phone. In May, we had 13,716 calls come through our
Yeah.
5,900 numbers.
And I think I do want to point out, because Wendy points it out a lot, which is any of the work from home, people will be able to use an image of their phone, a soft phone on their PC. So that's going to enhance some of the work from home that we're doing now currently.
Anything else, Gwen?
No, that's it.
Any other old business? Any new business? All right, without objection, we're adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Liz, we are keeping track.